Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope I am audible to everybody. Okay, so I am Zarnab Shakil Haq from the Center for Teaching and Learning, and I would like to welcome everybody present over here today to our very first faculty capacity building workshop. And so basically the aim of today's workshop was to discuss with you that how you can chart your career, self-groom yourself, apart from being a part of academics. And today we have Mr. Syed Aun Raza Rizvi with us. I would give a very warm welcome to you, sir. And he is basically an associate professor of finance and is currently also the associate dean academics at Suleiman Dawood School of Business in Lum. And he is also an associate member at Center for Financial Econometrics at Deakin University, Australia, in addition to being an executive board member of Asia Pacific Applied Economics Association. So he joined the Suleiman Dawood School of Business at LUMS in 2016 from University of Nottingham, where he served as an assistant professor for 2 years, contributing towards establishing the Center for Islamic Business and Finance Research at University of Nottingham, Malaysia campus. Prior to that, he was educated at Sadiq Public School, Bahawalpur and NUST, Islamabad. Mr. Aung holds a PhD in Islamic Finance from INSEF, Malaysia. So he has an overall 7 years of academic experience and 3.5 years experience in the industrial. So, sir, I would further move towards you and you can carry on from here. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you very much, Anab. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So thank you very much for this opportunity and for this chance to have to basically have this discussion. So how will we have almost 29 participants, I think, what I can see right now. So, and I'm just doing rough maths with 3 to 4 years experience. We have around 120 years of experience in this Zoom meeting right now, and that's the bare minimum. If we add on the time in masters and PhD spent by all of the most of the people, that is going up to north of 200. Now, so with all that experience in here, so what we'll do is we'll have a discussion where all of us learn from each other. All of us have brilliant ideas. All of us have been in academia for some time. So we'll try to leverage on each other's experience and their opinions. So if I can, what I'll do is I'll open up a whiteboard, which is visible to everyone. So I can quickly jot down the points on it, so it's visible. So it's basically visible to everyone of what we are basically how we are going to go about what we'll be discussing, and I'll promise I'll try to keep it and wrap it up by 1 p.m. as promised with everyone. So so basically the idea for this session is all of us are in academia, and all of us may have different reasons to be in academia. So if anyone would like to volunteer, can we volunteer on why you ended up in the academia? And so, just why did you end up being in academia, in an academic or an instructor, when there were a million other possibilities in your life? So if anyone would like to volunteer for that.
Maybe I had this thing in mind that I'm going to teach eventually. So my degree actually led me to academia.
So Sadia, if you don't mind, when did you consider that you wanted to teach? Was it like in high school, university?
No, earlier when I was in high school, I thought I will be a doctor. But later on, when I chose to study English literature, instead of writing, I was clear from then. Like probably in my bachelor's, I was clear that I'm going to teach English eventually. So then I did my master's in English, and eventually I did my certificate in English as a second language. So probably I had that thing in mind, and every coming certificate and degree was leading me towards teaching. So that's why.
Okay, that's interesting. So it was basically that's something you really wanted to do. And I saw someone raise their hand. I'm sorry, it's
Yeah,
disappeared
that was,
now.
I think, Amna Kadir.
Yeah,
Am I audible, Samikum?
Ji
Yeah.
Walaikum Salam.
I think, although it sounds a bit superficial, but I would say that the teachers actually, from the very beginning, they somehow, their path turns toward that side of teaching. And for me as a teacher, I think I had other options and I explored them, and it was a deliberate choice that I made. And one other thing that I feel now, at after like teaching 2-3 years, I feel that I missed on a lot of things as a student. So I think to cover up those, to grasp on those moments and those missed opportunities, I think I became teacher. That as a teacher, I might grapple with those opportunities.
Okay, so if you were to put a term to it, it's what you're saying is that normally the teachers, they have a natural affinity to it. So they may end up trying here and there, but they would end up in the teaching profession if they have that natural course of action, right?
Yes, this is what
Um,
I think. Yes.
all right. Uh-huh. All right. Great. Anyone else? Why you ended up in teaching profession? Uh, okay. I can well I can let you know. I mean, to be very honest, I never thought I would be a teacher. I was happy in the industry. Uh, I ended up being in academics by accident. I did my master's, got a scholarship for PhD, went back to do my PhD. Then I was on leave from my employer at that time. I used to work for HPL Asset Management. When I finished my PhD, they told me that uh, go and go into academia. There's not much innovation that we're doing here, so you'll waste your time here. And I was like, fine, I'll try academia. So for me, to be very candid, it was more of an accidental profession rather than anything else. But yes, I do enjoy it. Anyone else? Anyone who would like to want to contribute or mention why they ended up here? All right. Okay. Okay. Then okay, that's fine. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's similar to when we're teaching our students on Zoom, and most of them have probably just logged in and disappeared, and they don't answer the questions. So uh, it seems that age doesn't change anything. But this is what has been happening with us at my university as well. So I'm with LUMS right now, and this is in our faculty meetings, and that's the same. It's the same situation. So the Zoom fatigue has caught up on it, caught up on all of us. So let's slightly move further. As an academic, so I mean, the first thing that comes to our mind, or first thing all of us uh, refer to is the teaching aspect. Um, what other parameters or what other what other factors or what other things do we have to do as an academic? Or what is part and parcel of being an academic job? Uh, Broadly speaking, if anyone would like to volunteer, please feel free. So I noticed we have some of the faculty members who have doctors with their name as well. and some who don't have. So I'm assuming a lot of people haven't written their uh, uh, formal title in the names. But so I mean, this is specific to the people who are PhD doctors here. Um, you've taken on who've done their PhD. Basically, you've spent 4 to 5 years of your life dedicated to a field and dedicated to academia to start off with. What do you think is the role of an academic? Is teaching the only thing, or there are there any other aspects as well? Or it can be anyone actually, but I'm just, who would like to answer to it, or who would like to contribute to it?
Can I add, please?
G, please.
I do not know about the ideal world, but over here, at UMT, we teachers are actually advisors. We are actually looking into so many other issues, in terms of academic and non-academic activities. So I will be talking about those because as a teacher, I am, doing multiple tasks. First being the fact that I'm a teacher. Second, that I am an advisor. Third, that I am managing a digital scoreboard for our faculty members. Fourthly, that I'm looking for other, like I'm writing a research article as well. So I think the teacher has to be a researcher, advisor, and so much more. I mean, we in our personal lives might not be playing those roles that we are playing as teachers in the lives of other students.
Yeah, right, that's excellent. So you mentioned about research, and then
Yes.
what you mentioned is the advisor and administrative. Uh, Broadly, in academia, so two terms which are very common uh, is so either it's called service, and in some places it's also called the citizenship, which basically means please pardon my hand writing. Uh, yeah, I so it's service or citizenship, which basically broadly covers the administrative side in terms of the, like you mentioned, you're managing the digital scoreboard. That's a administrative role, and then you're an advisor, which is beyond your teaching role, but interacting with the students and basically being part of the bigger academic landscape and family. So, are there any other, if anyone has any other role in mind? Uh,
Sorry, can you repeat your question? I couldn't get it.
so I'm saying that as academics, we have roles which involve teaching, which involve research, uh, which involve service or citizenship. Well, there are multiple names for it, which are broader to the academic community and to the university. Any other role that as academics uh, we may be undertaking, or which we are expected to undertake, just being by in this profession.
I think as we are interacting so much with the youth, I would say, so probably we have a very strong connection with youth building and nation building, because they are the ones who are actually going to be the pertinent part of the society. So probably we are making a lot of difference in the lives of people who are coming to us, who are naive, who are just, their brains are new, and we are inculcating a lot of new things in their brains. So probably we have a very strong role in building, character building of these people and nation building eventually.
All right, that's interesting. So, on a much broader role, Bilal Saab has his hand up. Um,
Thank you so much, Syed Rizvi and Ms. Sadia. If you can hear me loud and clear, I want to actually reply for the previous question as well.
जी जी बताएं.
मुझे जिस चीज़ ने actually motivate किया to come to the teaching is I had actually very good teachers in my primary level and in my middle level, in my matriculation level. So I had very inspiring teachers. So they changed my life, and so that's why I wanted to be a teacher to change the life of the other. So that was the question of the first answer of the first question. And now I think we have, as faculty members in certain universities, we have administrative tasks as well. Maybe we are I am actually working on a certain accreditation preparation of the self-study report for the certain accreditation body. So maybe the administrative tasks as well are the part of the academics, are the part of the job of the faculty member maybe.
Okay, that's interesting. Excellent. Yeah, Bilal sir, that matlab can be classified under the service. So it includes your administrative part. It includes your advisory role. Matlab broadly, just that's basically in most
Yes,
of the
yes, I
universities.
agree then. Yes,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
classified
service.
under the
You have written
yeah.
it this as a service. Yes, yes, okay.
Yes. So service to the school, to service to the university, and
Yes.
Madam Sadia, what you mentioned, that's actually very interesting. Uh, the role that as we instructors we play, that uh, is not a specific role which probably can be classified, which you mentioned about in terms of impacting the character, being role models, defining the are basically contributing towards the future of the country. That is something which probably supersedes all of these three. All of these three are uh, the teaching, research, and citizenship. All of those three fall under the broader domain of being of our role as contributors to the business and society. Because as instructors, what you just mentioned, young minds, we're shaping them. We're basically they're at very impressionable age, and we are contributing towards their grooming. So we are basically what we're doing is we're impacting the business environment and the societal environment of the future. So we're actually in one way shaping how our society and our country will be 30 years, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And that is a much broader, overarching role as academic. On the idea is within that role, some of the specific things we do is teaching, research, service, uh, and or service or citizenship, how we classify it. And now the idea is, or one of the things is, as humans, uh, and that's human nature. We want to be the best in whatever we do. For most of us, being complacent or being just happy with whatever we have done is not an option. And it's not an option not because of any financial or any other motivations. It's about the idea of self-satisfaction. All right. I mean, to be very candid, if anyone would like to share, do you think what you're doing right now, you're happy with it and there is nothing more, or basically, uh, you think that this is what or how it should be done, and that's it. This is just perfect. I mean, let's be very candid. Amna ji.
Yeah, I just wanted to add because with every passing day, the policies, not in just this university, like everywhere around the world, are becoming draconian. And I think I do feel as a teacher very overworked because the moment that I try to find happiness in my work, I think that is the point when I need to be aware of the fact that it is not happiness because I'm deliberately trying to find something good. Because if there is something good in it, it has to come naturally to me. So I think this is like if you're putting an effort into something and you're like you're finding something out of it, and if it is not there in the first place, then I think it's an illusion, you're just deceiving yourself.
So you're saying that the happiness is an illusion in academia.
I think so, yes.
All right, that's really interesting. Do you have like anyone else who who subscribes to Amna's point of view, or has a different opinion, or has tangential opinion? Asfa, sorry.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम डॉक्टर साहब।
Walaikum
एक्चुअली मैं
salam.
मिस आमिना के साथ जो है ना एग्री करूंगी। ओवरवेलमिंग ज़रूर है, लेकिन अगर इसको मैं थोड़ा सा डीपली देखती हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि जो टीचिंग वाला पार्ट ना, स्पेसिफिकली एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वगैरह को छोड़ के, that goes in parallel with my nature. Like I enjoy teaching, और अक्सर मैं इस चीज को याद करती हूँ कि जब हम एफएससी में थे और मिस्टर चिप्स का नॉवल हमें पढ़ाया जाता था उस वक्त, तो वो सेंटेंस मेरे माइंड में अक्सर इको करता है कि टू डील विद दोज हु आर गोइंग टू डील विद दिस वर्ल्ड. सो आई लाइक दिस स्पेसिफिक पार्ट ऑफ माई टीचिंग, लेकिन बाकी जो चीजें हैं वो जरूर ओवरवेलमिंग लगती हैं.
ओके, सो आपका आपके ख्याल में टीचिंग वाले पार्ट इज वेयर देयर इज मोर, वेयर देयर इज हैप्पीनेस, बट
Yes,
बाकी पास नहीं. ओवरऑल, एज अ कंप्लीट पैकेज, डू यू फाइंड हैप्पीनेस और नॉट?
yes, overall I feel happy, but
ऑलराइट,
sometimes it's more overwhelming.
ठीक है. That's okay. That's interesting. So you're overall happy, but there are times when you'll think, "Yeah, matlab, this is it." Anyone else?
May I speak?
Gigi.
Okay. In my point of view, happiness in professional life is also subjective, because you might find happiness where other people are overwhelmed. Um, for example, in this corona situation, when the connectivity issue is there, the other person who has a smooth connectivity, he might find the giving lecture very good, cool thing, or satisfying thing. But at the same time, if I'm doing it and I have the connectivity issue, there's something going on at the back of my mind. Might be I don't find it that energetic, or what do you call it, that productive. Everything is subjective to how we look at the things. This is my point of view. Your inner satisfaction and inner peace in professional life is also very important. And the interaction of your hierarchy with you and the way they appreciate you while you are doing the work for them is also very, very important. This is my point of view.
Okay. So you're saying that if I'll try to summarize what you said. You're saying that the happiness is subjective. Some people may be happy in a similar situation as compared
Yeah.
to some other people too.
Yes.
That may be dependent on multiple factors, right? Which
Yes.
may not be directly related to the academia, right?
Yes, academy. It's all about, like, for example, I was the one who was pushed into this profession because of my academic degree. I never wanted to be a teacher, but now to a certain extent, I start liking it. I have been working with a very, had been working with an organization which is a school, and you cannot imagine the kind of the workload they give away to the teachers. So here, when I come to the university, I find myself in a heaven. I'm literally find myself in a heaven. I feel that there's no work actually, because I have already worked a lot in my previous job affair.
Okay, that's excellent. So factors में एक जो factor है, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat box as well. So एक तो मतलब the current situation पे एक बात हुई है कि current जो pandemic situation है, that has thrown a spanner in all the possible wheels that existed. तो आपने एक appreciation की बात की थी, appreciation by the, if you can just quickly mention it again, Amna.
I think in my point of view, appreciation from the hierarchy and administration while you are doing a task for them is very, very important. Because if you are appreciated, it is, the motivation become an intrinsic motivation instead of becoming, instead of an extrinsic motivation, basically. So you need appreciation, you need feedback of your work as well. We all are learners. And believe me, even if you are 75 years, your learning needs, our learners' needs stays the same.
That's okay. That's excellent. All right. Anyone else would like to further add? Ji sir.
Rizvi, would you like to? Thank you very much. जो करंट आपने टॉपिक को डायरेक्शन दे दी है, तो मेरे ख्याल में हैप्पीनेस को अगर आपने मेजर करना है तो वो सेटिस्फेक्शन लेवल के ऊपर मेजरमेंट्स हो सकती हैं। और मोटिवेशन को देखना है तो वो तो बड़ा वेल एक्सप्लोर्ड सब्जेक्ट है कि किस तरह एम्प्लॉई को मोटिवेशन देनी है या फॉर दैट मैटर फैकल्टी को मोटिवेशन देनी है। तो एक चीज़ जो मैं अभी ख़ुद भी रिसर्च कर रहा हूँ, नॉट फॉर्मली बट इनफॉर्मली, अभी लिटरेचर रिव्यू वगैरह उसमें से गुजर रहा हूँ, तो एक चीज़ जो मुझे बड़ी स्ट्रांगली नज़र आती है, डिफरेंस बिटवीन दी अमेरिकन यूनिवर्सिटीज़, मोस्ट ऑफ देम, नॉट ऑल बट मोस्ट ऑफ देम, और जो पाकिस्तान में यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं, इनकी जो मैनेजमेंट में फुकदान है वो है कि फैकल्टी वर्कलोड इज़ नॉट वेल डिफाइंड। और जब फैकल्टी वर्कलोड नहीं डिफाइन होता तो फिर इट इज़ एट द मर्सी ऑफ द मैनेजर और द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, आई वुड से द टॉप मैन, कि वो इट कीप एडिंग द टास्क टू डू इन द लिस्ट ऑफ द फैकल्टी। तो अगर ऑन द कॉन्ट्रेरी अमेरिका में वेरी वेल डिफाइंड फैकल्टी वर्कलोड है, और अगर आपने टीच करना है तो सर्टेन क्रेडिट्स पर ईयर आपने लेने हैं, और अगर आप उसमें से कम लेते हैं तो देन यू हैव टू मीट दैट डेफिशिएंसी थ्रू अदर मींस, जिसमें रिसर्च भी है, जिसमें आपने इसमें यहाँ पे आपने लिख दिया सर्विस है, मैनेजमेंट का पार्ट है, तो वो सारी चीज़ें काउंट होती हैं टुवर्ड्स द फैकल्टी वर्कलोड। बड़ा ऑब्जेक्टिव क्राइटेरिया एग्जिस्ट करता है उनके यूनिवर्सिटीज़ से, जबकि मोस्ट ऑफ आर पाकिस्तानी यूनिवर्सिटीज, बोथ पब्लिक एज वेल एज प्राइवेट, ये क्राइटेरिया इस तरह का बहुत ही वेग टर्म्स में मेंशन है, नॉट वेरी स्पेसिफिक है। फॉर एग्जांपल यूएमटी में अभी हमें रिसेंटली नई फैकल्टी ट्रैक्स की नई एक पॉलिसी पता चली है, which is quite compartmentalize कर रही है फैकल्टी इनटू रिसर्च है या टीचिंग ट्रैक है या फॉर दैट मैटर कोई इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रैक है या कोई इस तरह का, विदाउट रियलाइजिंग के फैकल्टी को इस तरह कंपार्टमेंटलाइज करने से वो ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ सेटिस्फेक्शन या एक मेयार जिसके ऊपर आप उनको एवेल्युएट करें वो पूरा नहीं होता। तो हमें उसी तरह का कोई सिस्टम अडॉप्ट करना चाहिए जिसमें हर बंदे की जो भी कंट्रीब्यूशन है पॉजिटिव है टुवर्ड्स दैट, और वो वेल डिफाइंड होनी चाहिए ताकि किसी को उसके ऊपर कोई गिला और शिकवा ना हो। So this is my take on this. Thank you.
ठीक, that's really interesting. Ahmed साहब, आपने मतलब you've raised a very interesting dilemma, which I think exists in probably all of the universities that operate in our region, and it's probably not specific to Pakistan. It's specific to most of the developing country universities. And it boils down to, and मतलब जो आपका भी बात था और जो पिछली बात थी, boils down to the management, the senior management of the university or the school. So why do you think this challenge exists or this problem exists with the senior management, that regarding the workloads, not understanding the faculty needs properly, or why do you think that main issue is there? Management की इसे हम lack of understanding कहेंगे, incompetency कहेंगे, या lack of empathy कहेंगे, मतलब what do you think? Okay, why? Because it's a problem in probably every single university in the region.
So now you are talking about my hypothesis testing,
Bilkul.
which I have not yet done it. So I will definitely collect data on your questions. These are definitely relevant to my research objective. Okay, after what all employees think, why they are being treated like this.
Sir, चलिए मतलब let's just for the discussion's sake, or for basically just from the top of your mind, what do you think might be the problem?
In my opinion, it's more of the innocence. I would say कि ये objective evaluation या objective criteria का इल्म ही नहीं है. I did design a software in which all these parameters could be taken care of to define a faculty workload in my department here in aviation. And I gave a presentation to the faculty of my department, and none of them knew it before I could deliver it to them. So from this small little data that I can say, it's more of the knowledge, lack of knowledge that they have. And once I talked to my boss about it, he was quite happy to know that. But then it's the whole the whole ambit is to be explored much better than अभी यहाँ तक ही मेरे ख्याल में तो है कि people are willing to look into it provided they know it कि ये exist कर रहा है इसका.
ठीक है, तो मतलब वो शायद real जी please.
You know, I always believe in one thing. If you really want to know my suffering, come into my shoe. The major, behavior issue what the management is having these days, because they are not coming from the grassroots level. They never been lecturers. They never been in a school arena. Talk about that. They never been teachers, but they've been imposed administrators. They do not know how the teachers suffer when she is dealing with 75 to 90 to 150 students on a daily basis, and what kind of a repercussions, what you say is that mental repercussions she faces after the class. What is the aftermath of a lecture time? So keeping in view that thing, we have to take only those administrators who were somewhere down the line was associated with the real class. I think this is education management, and education management is taken so lightly. They do not, people do not understand that what is the importance of it. How to cascade tasks to certain people. We should cascade tasks to people according to their capacity level. For example, if you are going to give away the task to me of a researcher, I'm not a good researcher. I say it. Secondly, people here in Pakistan, in order to take the appreciation, they say we know it all. First of all, take a workshop, give a workshop to the teachers as well. Know thyself. Know their capacities, know their faults, know their the limitations as well. That's what I think is.
That's interesting. So basically, your point is that most of the senior management at universities, they haven't gone through the grind that the existing faculty is going through.
Yes.
So they don't.
If my hierarchy do not know that what is the repercussion of the Zoom class, he might say, okay, fine, you have to facilitate the student, you have to do this, you have to do that. Darling, come to the class and deal with the real students, deal with the language they are using for the teacher, with the teacher, and how they're using it. Deal with it. Come to my foot.
Okay, that's actually interesting. Now, Amna Kadir, sorry, आपका question है चारिया. Sorry, Amna Satni, Amna Kadir का hand raise हुआ था.
Yes, I would like to second Amna's opinion. And one thing I want to say is that their lack of understanding is very much deliberate. It is not just that they're not aware of these things. They are aware of these things. They choose not to understand. This is what I think, because because managers, they know and they need to understand that, that what sort of trauma that teacher feels. I think they are aware of the trauma. They choose not to understand that. So I would say that the lack of empathy, sympathy, whatever you call that, it's very much deliberate. It's not unintentional, it's not inadvertent, it's very much deliberate at their part.
Okay, that's an interesting aspect. So you're of the opinion that's deliberate. Amna Shah, sorry, आप कुछ add करना चाह रही हैं?
No, actually, I was just trying with my Zoom thing. This is very new to
All right. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So okay, that's all right. Do we have anyone else who would like to contribute to the discussion? Because we have it's leading towards the management side with some lack of understanding, probably the deliberately lack of understanding. One of the reasons may be that they haven't gone through the grind at the grassroots level, so they can't relate to what's actually happening on the ground. So Anyone else would like to add on to this? All right. Okay. If none, the question I have is, what's the solution? So, Usman Saab, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam.
जी, आई वुड ऐड समथिंग, बल्कि सबसे पहले मैं कंक्लूड करूंगा सारी डिस्कशन जो कि मैंने सुनी। उसमें बहुत सारी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें थी। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, आपका बैकग्राउंड बहुत मैटर करता है, आपने किस लेवल से स्टार्ट किया, कहाँ तक आप पहुँचे। जैसा कि अभी ये कह रही थी टीचर के उन्होंने स्कूल में टीच किया एंड नाउ शी फील्स अ लॉट मोर कंफर्टेबल इन द यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल। नंबर 2, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज के जब आप किस जगह पे काम कर रहे हैं तो वहाँ पर आप पर क्या क्या चीज़ें इम्पोज की जाती हैं। नंबर 3, आपकी डेफिनेटली क्वालिफिकेशन तो मैटर करती है। और उसके बाद हाँ जी, मैं आपसे अपना टोटल एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाह रहा हूँ। मैंने पीएचडी की है पीकिंग यूनिवर्सिटी बीजिंग से। इट्स वन ऑफ द मोस्ट टॉप लेवल यूनिवर्सिटी इन द वर्ल्ड। उसके साथ साथ मेरा करियर स्टार्ट हुआ स्कूल टीचिंग से, और स्कूल टीचिंग भी कौन सी, गवर्नमेंट स्कूल टीचिंग से, जहाँ पर आई यूज्ड टू टीच लाइक 150 स्टूडेंट्स नॉर्मली, और मैं रोज के दोपहर तक तकरीबन 7 to 8 लेक्चर्स डिलीवर करता था मैथमेटिक्स। एनीवे, आई मूव्ड टू चाइना एंड डिड माय पीएचडी एंड नाउ आई एम इन यूएमटी। मैंने इस चीज को नोट किया है कि आपका चूंकि पहला क्वेश्चन था एकेडेमिया पे, कैन यू हियर मी?
जी जी बिल्कुल।
जी ओके, आपका पहला क्वेश्चन था कि व्हाट इज एकेडेमिया। मैं सबसे पहले बात करूंगा कि ये टीचर के ऊपर भी मैटर करता है। फॉर एग्जांपल, आपने देखा होगा, क्योंकि मेरा स्टूडेंट्स के साथ बहुत क्लोज इंटरेक्शन है, बहुत क्लोज, मैं उनसे पूछता रहता हूँ कि आपको क्या क्या चीजें फेस करनी पड़ती हैं। मैंने इस चीज को लर्न किया है कि मोस्ट ऑफ द पीएचडी टीचर्स दे कांट डिलीवर। उनका सारा फोकस उनकी रिसर्च होती है, उनका सारा फोकस वो वाली चीजें होती हैं जो कि टीचिंग के अलावा सब कुछ है। मैंने इस चीज को ओवरऑल नोट किया। मैं सबको इस चीज पे ब्लेम नहीं कर रहा, आई एम मायसेल्फ अ पीएचडी, लेकिन मैंने इस चीज को नोट किया है कि दे कैन नॉट गेट कंफर्टेबल विद द स्टूडेंट। इस चीज को मैंने बहुत ज्यादा फील किया। अब चूंकि मैंने स्टार्ट किया था मैट्रिक से, मैट्रिक को टीच किया, एफएससी को टीच किया, बीएससी को टीच किया, तो मैंने इस चीज को फील किया है कि टीचिंग करते हुए फर्स्ट 4 लेक्चर्स और फर्स्ट 2 लेक्चर्स आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हम किन को टीच कर रहे हैं। अब मैं क्लास को कैलकुलस टीच कर रहा हूँ और मुझे इस चीज का पता ही नहीं है कि उनको अलजेब्रा भी आता है या नहीं आता। दे डोंट इवन नो कि व्हाट इज x into x स्क्वायर वुड बी और व्हाट इज x plus x स्क्वायर। तो मैं क्या करता हूँ कि मैं उनको पहले अपने साथ कंफर्टेबल करता हूँ बाय डिलीवरिंग देम सम बेसिक नॉलेज। मैं उनको बताता हूँ कि मैथमेटिक्स स्टार्ट कहाँ से हुआ था। पीपल हेट मैथमेटिक्स, तो उनको उस जगह से पहले उठाना ऊपर कि वो अपने आप को एटलीस्ट क्लास में कंफर्टेबल तो फील करें। तो मैं एक चीज तो ये टीचिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से होगा कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हैव टू गेट कंफर्टेबल विद द क्लास। होता क्या है कि जो पहले दिन या दूसरे दिन एडजस्ट नहीं कर पाता, वो एंड तक अपने आप को समझता है कि मैं इस क्लास का हिस्सा ही नहीं, मुझे इस चीज को बस क्लियर आउट करना है। तो एक चीज तो मैंने इस चीज को फील किया कि ये बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है फॉर द टीचर। उसके अलावा डेफिनेटली इरिटेशंस तो होती हैं, साथ साथ स्टूडेंट्स मतलब तंग करते हैं। जैसे भी बात हो रही थी एडवाइजरी की, तो जैसे मुझे एडवाइजरी की अभी तक कोई ट्रेनिंग ही नहीं है, ये मुझ पर इम्पोज किया गया। टीचिंग भी करनी है, रिसर्च भी करनी है और एडवाइजरी भी करनी है। और मुझे बताया गया सिर्फ कि आप एमएस के एडवाइजर हैं, एमएस के, और मुझे यूनिवर्सिटी के एमएस प्रोग्राम का पूरा सिस्टम ही नहीं पता वो क्या है। तो एक चीज तो मैं ये कहूँगा कि फैकल्टी को फैसिलिटेट करना चाहिए। मिसाल के तौर पे जब मैं यहाँ पे आया तो मुझे कई महीने तक, आई थिंक 7 to 8 months, मेरे पास ऑफिस नहीं था। अब विदाउट एन ऑफिस हाउ कैन आई परफॉर्म माई ड्यूटीज। मैं कहीं पे बैठ के किसी के साथ किसी को कह के उसके ऑफिस में बैठा हुआ हूँ और वहां पर मैं पेपर्स भी चेक कर रहा हूँ और मैंने रिसर्च भी करनी है, मेरे पास स्टूडेंट्स भी आ रहे हैं। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि जो इस वक्त हमारे स्टूडेंट्स या ओवरऑल हमारा एजुकेशनल सिस्टम इस चीज को फेस कर रहा है, वो दोनों साइड से फेस कर रहा है, फैकल्टी प्लस मैनेजमेंट। प्लस मैं एक चीज जो बहुत स्ट्रांगली ऐड करना चाहता हूँ, वो ये करना चाहता हूँ कि हमें अपना बहुत ही ज्यादा फोकस अपने बीएस प्रोग्राम्स की क्लासेस पे करना चाहिए। अगर हम उन बच्चों को अच्छा प्रिपेयर नहीं करेंगे तो आई डोंट थिंक कि आपको वो एक अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स दे सकते हैं एट एमएस लेवल और इवन इन पीएचडी लेवल। क्योंकि जब मैं रिसर्च करवाता हूँ एमएस स्टूडेंट्स को या पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स को, तो मैंने यही नोट किया कि उनको बेसिक चीजें एक्चुअली नहीं आती होती। मैं उनसे अक्सर बात डेफिनेशंस पूछता हूँ, किसी भी चीज की बेसिक्स पूछता हूँ, और मेरी जो रिसर्च है वो है ही डिसीजन मेकिंग पे। मैंने आज कुछ दिन पहले भी एक स्टूडेंट को टास्क दिया, मल्टी क्राइटेरिया डिसीजन मेकिंग पे मेरी रिसर्च है, तो उन्होंने खुद ओ लेवल्स किया हुआ था। तो मैंने कहा जैसे मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे बच्चे का O levels करे, तो मेरे जहन में क्वेश्चन आता है कि हाउ टू चूज द O level स्कूल। तो एक और भी बात है कि रिसर्च करवाते हुए स्टूडेंट को अपने साथ कंफर्टेबल करना या उसी की डोमेन में उसको चीजें देना, ये मैं रिसर्च के हवाले से ऐड करना चाह रहा हूँ। आप हर स्टूडेंट को हर चीज नहीं दे सकते, आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि किस स्टूडेंट का क्या क्या लेवल है। So this is what I wanted to add.
That's an actually interesting. So, if I can summarize, it's on the capacity. It's on the capacity building of the faculty, individual faculty. That is what matters. Focusing on basics and trying to connect with the students. These were the major themes. Capacity building पे आपका थोड़ा ज़्यादा stress था कि as individual faculty members, both in terms of teaching and side, we need to build capacity. और फिर आपने infrastructural capacity की भी बात की। अली चौहान, आप कुछ ऐड करना चाह रहे थे?
Yeah, I just wanted to basically raise a point that whenever you are going into classes, I mean, at the university level, you can't really give them everything as a teacher, you know, as a person who is teaching 1 course, 2 courses, 3 courses, you know, 7 courses over a period of 1 year. But I think one of the major thing is that if you are going to be teaching any course, you need to take it as like you are owning it, you're leading it, and you come up with some vision and mission for it for yourself as a faculty, that by the time the students are done with this class, they're going to achieve these goals. This is, I mean, you know, you call them the, you know, the goals or,
the learning outcomes.
Learning outcomes or whatever. But that is one thing, you know, like putting it there. But one of the most important things is कि उस बच्चे ने क्या सीखा, चाहे वो एक बात ही कोई ऐसी हो कि जो उसने सीखनी है और वो आपने कोशिश करनी है कि सारी क्लास सीखे, चाहे वो एक चीज ही हो. I mean, it could be as simple and powerful as कि stop lying, you know, it could be just simple that, but you push for that because actually learning होती है. It's not memorization of facts. आपने सुनी हुई है वो कहावत भी और saying भी. It's the learning of the mind to think. So if you can start getting your students to think about themselves, about their responsibility, I think that's where, as a faculty, you take that leadership role in academics, that you are basically turning or making lives, you know, turning in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. That's thank you very much. Okay, so one thing, Ali, which Ali had mentioned is about the learning environment in class. Well, mainly the learning objectives or the focus on teaching. If I can just take one step back, हमने बहुत सारे challenges highlight किए, ठीक है, जो कुछ उसमें individual level पे भी हैं और कुछ जो है वो management level पे भी हैं. All right. Now,
मेरा ख्याल
sorry,
से challenges होते हैं ना. Sorry, I beg your pardon to interrupt. Only thing I wanted to add is कि
Ali साहब, if you don't mind, I think वो हारिस साहब कुछ कहने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं काफी देर से. मोहम्मद हारिस साहब.
Okay.
I don't know, connectivity issue है या. I don't know. Sorry, G Ali Saab. I'm sorry. I thought he was trying to say something.
No. I just wanted to say that the challenge usually is that if you can show the students, especially of today, that whatever you're asking them to do, whether it is a class, something, you have command on it. You know, you're not going to be flippant in a class and expect them to learn from you. I mean, you have to be on top of your game, whichever subject you're doing.
Yeah, Ali, that's excellent. But do you think we are able to do it? And if not, why not?
I beg your pardon, what you said last?
I'm saying, can we actually, are we able to do it as faculty members? Are we able to achieve that objective or not? And if not, what do you think is the main impeding factor?
I think the main thing is that you got to be sincere in your effort. If you show the sincere effort to the student, I mean, nobody's perfect. and nobody's going to know everything all. You know, we gotta be humans. We can't be anything else. But the point is, if the student understands and sees that this teacher or professor or whoever it is, PhD, non-PhD, is, you know, he's sincere about us learning. And I think the way you go about doing that is to be honest and, you know, walk the talk, you know, as much as you can, and have a good command over your subject, whatever you're teaching.
Yeah. Ali, if you don't mind, if you do some introspection, do you think you're able to achieve all of that?
Yeah, I think I usually aim for about, to be honest, I go like, if I can do it 75% or 70% or, you know, 80%, I'm happy with it.
Okay. Why don't you aim for the remaining 25%? Why as a starting point?
I said that I don't believe in 100%. Sorry, that's my thought. I don't think there's any 100%. So I think I keep on trying to go for as much as I can, and I'm sure that I make errors, but as long as I'm trying to learn from it, that's my. I'm not trying to be philosophical, but that's what my effort is.
Okay, that's excellent. So basically, what you're talking about is under the parameter of the teaching excellence. How teaching excellence is defined. All right, that from not purely numerical, it's more of in-class experience of the students. All right, so we'll come to that in a minute. If I come back to it, so the challenges that have been raised here, what do you think is the potential solution? I mean, all of us, it's always easy for anyone. And I think that's what most of us, including myself, do is we are good at highlighting the problems. What's the solution? And anyone, what do you think is a potential solution? We've talked about the fact that so we have, and let me quickly summarize. So we have had challenges which have been raised. There has been a discussion on the management, university management. There has been on teaching. And interestingly, there was another issue raised that a lot of people, a lot of PhDs are maybe good researchers and are actually good researchers, but their teaching lacks or they're unable to be good teachers. All right, and that's probably, and I personally subscribe to that as well. That is a challenge that most of the universities are facing. These three main streams of issues have been highlighted. What do you think? So, as individuals, and then collectively as a group of operating in academia, what do you think is the solution? Anyone?
Can I add something?
Amna, please.
I think first and foremost thing that we need to do at this point in time is that we need to identify the problems and consider problems as problems, because we often try to blame, because I've seen managers who are trying to blame their incompetency over the incompetency of the teacher, and I've seen teachers who are unable to perform well and then they tend to criticize the system. So I think we need to identify where the problem lies. The second thing I think is that we need to allocate tasks to the ones who are actually capable of that, because in my department, and when I speak of the other departments as well, because I've been in interaction with those departments, so I feel that there are people who are doing certain things which they shouldn't be doing certain things, right? So because I think this is something that comes from mine. The third I think is that the administration needs to understand that what is their role they need to consult teachers, they need to consult teachers in certain matters, and we as teachers need to understand that where the things are coming from. So I think it's more like codependency, and I think that is the solution which I foresee.
Yeah. Okay. So there is codependency. Amna, let's be a bit more realistic. So this sounds really good. In realistically speaking, do you think we can resolve it overnight or in the next 1 year?
I think if we're not unable to resolve it, at least we should try to understand it, because in that understanding we're able to solve half the problems.
Yeah. If I try to recall what Sadia had earlier said, in academia, we are operating for the society at large. We're operating for the youth, and which will shape how the next 50 years of this country probably. Can we just stay and just say that we've understood the problem and that's our contribution, or do we need to fix it?
Because I think understanding is not, it doesn't have to be complacent. We need to act out of it as well. And while we're trying to understand a problem, we will definitely identify the problem as a problem. And once there is a problem, I think it's a very part of human nature. We try to, come to a conclusion. If not, we are at a result of it. So I think in that process, we will be able to at least solve 1 or 2 problems. And I think that will, have an impact.
All right. So, okay, that's interesting. So you're saying that in the process, 1 or 2. My question is, we're talking about the fate of a country for the next 50 years. Solving 1 or 2 problems out of the multitude that we've discussed, is that good enough?
I told you it's not good enough, but at least it's better than a situation
then where we are,
where we are unable to do anything about it, because we have done nothing at all. I think in 70 or 60 years. So coming from that position, I would say at least if 1 or 2 things are changed in academia for good. So I think that will be an achievement, because when we look in the past, I think those were the similar problems. I mean, before digital, revolution, problems were there, but the mode, or I think they were translated into different things. But I think the core problem still persists. The way teachers are being treated and the way they are, discriminalized, I think it's the same, but the way is different, but the issues and the core problems are just the same. And we've done nothing about it.
We've done nothing. Okay, so that's I think that's an opinion that a lot of people would subscribe to. That we haven't done done much, and it's high time that we start on it. Amna Shah, sorry, आप कुछ कहना चाह रही हैं? Amna Shah, I think mute है.
I think in order to troubleshoot this problem, that we are supposed to do a demonstrative, not demonstrative, diagnostic task, that what should be done by what, who. Like we are supposed to see, like, are we supposed to hire new people into the institutions for particular task? Are we supposed to you have to design tasks for for the teachers instead of giving the task for them. I think overall पूरी चीज को आप लोगों ने एक जिससे कहते हैं लिफ्ट अप करने के लिए आपको पूरी रेनोवेशंस करना पड़ेंगी इस सिस्टम के लिए. अगर ये रेनोवेशन नहीं हुई, the things are going to collapse. हमारी एजुकेशनल सिस्टम जो है वो ऑलरेडी इट इज falling apart. It has fallen apart. So we have to structureize it. We have to build a structure now. Foundation अभी हमको बनानी पड़ेगी. हमारे we are falling apart. We have to take that what is there, what should be there, and how it is supposed to be there. ये बहुत सीरियस टास्क नहीं है. ये सिर्फ आपको आपकी बिल्डिंग्स आपके पास है, आपका जो बेसिक टेंजिबल मटेरियल है वो आपके पास है. तो ओनली थिंग इज दैट स्ट्रेटेजिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ द थिंग्स शुड बी देयर. और दिल खोल के दिमाग खोल के काम करना पड़ेगा. You have to see whether you are supposed to be autocratic, whether you are supposed to be democratic, or you are supposed to be the mixture of both. I think the mixture of both makes sense. because dealing with a human being is a very vague idea directly. ना आप autocratic कर सकते हैं, ना आप democratic हो सकते हैं. You have to be a mixture of both.
ठीक है. All right. I know that's interesting. So we've had and so we've basically have had. Let me try to recap where we are right now in our discussion. So now, initially we had identified teaching, research, and service and citizenship. And I'm basically recapping because we're right at the halfway point. It's 12. We'd identified academic as teaching, research, service and citizenship, and all of that operating under the larger view of the business and society and the future of the country. We talked about the happiness and some of the factors that may contribute to lack of happiness. उसमें हमने management की बात की है. उसमें one of your friends talked about research, not as a problem, but said that most of the PhDs are good at research, but are not good, potentially not good teachers. Then we talked about the teaching focus, the teaching excellence, which Ali had a point about the fact that going into class and the learning environment. Where we have come to is we have come to three major streams of problems, which most of the people subscribe to. There are two ways to go about it now. Either we can talk about more philosophical debate or more broader arguments on that these three issues exist and how we go about it, or we a more specific oriented or action oriented approaches that we take each one of them one by one. Now, if we can start off, and let's start off with the teaching part. जो हमने teaching के challenges raise किए हैं, if we want to improve in it and we want to make it better, what do you think we need to do as individuals or collectively? If you were given the task that here you go, you need to make UMT the leader in teaching in the country. So what would be your action plan be? And if we have Ali with us, Ali had felt strongly about teaching, Ali Chauhan. So
yeah, I mean, if you want me to add to it, I think so
like a specific action plan, steps.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think it takes a step at a time. Like I said, that when you are teaching classes, you need to make sure that by the time you're done with each class, you've made a difference in the student's life. And how do you do that is different. Meaning, in every class, for example, I have a class that I teach is called Leadership Skills. And I'm not trying to be boastful, I'm just sharing. And one of the things is that helping a child is building a nation. This is a theme I've been working on. So you don't get results every class, every semester. But let's say if I've been teaching it for 6-7 years, you have these few people, boys and girls, who started off in the beginning. Now, a larger group has taken on the responsibility and they look upon themselves. That is meaning, this is, I think, the second year that when I give this theme, they don't look outside, they start looking at themselves. When I say helping a child is building a nation, so the students come to me and say, hey, we are the child, if we help ourselves, we can build the nation. Before that was like, kisi gareeb ki madad kar do, ye kar do. There are a lot of ways. So concrete, agar aap kehte hain ki kya hona chahiye, I think one of the basic things is कि आपकी जो teaching methodology, जो भी आप use करते हैं, it should not be purely just like कि मैंने ये content cover करना है. आपने, मेरा ख्याल है कि आपने ये कोशिश करनी है कि मैंने इनकी जिंदगी में फर्क लेके आना है. टीचर का, उस्ताद का काम ये होता है. उसका काम होता है बच्चों की जिंदगी बनाना, और नहीं होता कुछ। अगर वो नहीं कर सकता तो उसको चाहिए कोई और प्रोफेशन कर ले। तो आई थिंक आप इसको फिलोसॉफिकल निकाल नहीं सकते इसमें से। You gotta believe in that, and that's from that step आगे जो concrete steps होते हैं वो depend करते हैं subject wise, school wise कि किस तरह के। This is my thought. I mean just a tidbit. I'm pretty sure कि solid कोई और हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि जब आप देखते हैं ना, अब आप कहते हैं कि जी मैनेजमेंट होती है वो सही नहीं कर रही, वहां पे भी मेरे भाई फिर किसी टीचर का ही लैक है जो उस मैनेजर को समझ नहीं आया पहले उसकी हिस्ट्री में। बिकॉज यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि जब आप टीचिंग कर रहे हैं तो आपको सबसे पहले क्लास मैनेजमेंट ही सिखा दें, उनको टाइम मैनेजमेंट ही सिखा दें, रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट ही सिखा दें, जो सी मर्जी क्लास हो। अगर टीचर खुद नहीं ये कर सकता, चाहे वो मैथ पढ़ा रहा है चाहे केमिस्ट्री, तो यू नो व्हाट आर द किड्स गोना लर्न? दैट इज जस्ट माय 2 points.
That's actually interesting. So basically focus reduce focus on pure content and more on the students. एक आपने जो मतलब एक specific action item was introspection post class, which is I think very critical for most of us. But if you can be candid,
I am being candid. What I'm saying is, sorry, I don't mean to argue with. All I'm saying is कि हम हमेशा solutions की बात करते हैं. Solution जो अब मुझे I don't know. This is my point. Okay, I could be right or wrong. I don't know. But the point is, over the past 10 years, I've seen is कि जब तक वो solution किसी के कहने से नहीं आएगा, किसी के समझाने से, मतलब I can take 10 lectures and I can be in 10 workshops, unless and until I internalize what I'm listening to or what I'm learning to. आप भी अगर मुझे कुछ बता रहे हैं, शेयर कर रहे हैं, मेरे colleagues शेयर कर रहे हैं, अगर तक तो वो internalize नहीं होगा तो मैं उसको कुछ नहीं, वो मेरे वही है, वो जिसने कहा कि आप ऑटोक्रेटिक हो जाए, डेमोक्रेटिक हो जाए, वो भी मैं यूज कर सकता हूँ कि वो कहाँ पे आप जाके वो, बिकॉज हमारे ऊपर आएगा तो हम स्टूडेंट के साथ करेंगे, हम उसे इंटरनलाइज करेंगे तो हम स्टूडेंट के साथ करेंगे. स्टूडेंट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एंटिटी. That is it.
That's interesting. मतलब what I was saying is कि मतलब if we think about it, all of us as instructors, it was a very interesting point जो आपने introspection की बात की कि I mean I'll be very candid about it. It's very rare that after a class I would think back and see what contribution I've made. And I've been teaching for some time now. So yes, the introspection post class is something which will probably which definitely will, I think, contribute. I mean, that's what I was trying to ask everyone else. If you think about it candidly, how many of us think back after we walk out of the class on how we've actually improved or made a contribution in the student's life? When you're walking out of that door, let's be honest with ourselves. And I'm not asking anyone to share anything, but I'm just saying, just take 2 minutes. Try to recall your last few years of your life which you've spent in this field. How many of us actually think back while we're walking out of the class on how we've changed or how we have influenced? So that's something which Ali had a very good point. I mean, candidly, I don't, and it's very rare that I would think about how my class. Well, I do think about the fact how my class went, but it's probably not from the perspective Ali is talking about.
जी, मैं कुछ ऐड कर सकता हूँ यहाँ पे?
जी उस्मान साहब.
जी, आपने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा कि जब आप क्लास से बाहर आते हैं तो वो कौन सी ऐसी चीज है जिस पे आप सोच सकते हैं कि आप खुद को इम्प्रूव कर सकते थे. तो अगेन मैं इसको 2 चीजों में डिवाइड करूंगा. एक तो आपका कंटेंट जो आपने टीच किया. नंबर 2 उनकी तरबियत. जैसा कि अली साहब का टोटल फोकस यही है कि हमारा काम है उनको एक अच्छा इंसान बनाना. कंटेंट तो काफी हद तक डिलीवर हो ही जाता है या वो कर लेते हैं. तो क्या आपका ओवरऑल इम्पैक्ट क्या था क्लास के ऊपर, ये बड़ा मैटर करता है. मिसाल के तौर पे अगर आपने कंटेंट डिलीवर किया है तो मैं मैथमेटिक्स टीच करता हूं तो मेरे जहन में ये आता है कि आज अगर मैं फलां एग्जांपल करवाता या फलां क्वेश्चन करवाता तो जरा बेहतर डिलीवर हो सकता था, या अगर मैं इस चीज को जरा ऐसे समझाता तो जरा ज्यादा बेहतर तरीके से डिलीवर हो सकता था. एक चीज तो कंटेंट पे सोचना, कीप ऑन इम्प्रूविंग। हमारा फोकस ये होना चाहिए कि जो आज मैंने टीच करना है वो ऑलमोस्ट हर बच्चे तक, ये पॉसिबल नहीं है कि 100% तक उसको अंडरस्टैंड करें। देयर आर सम स्टूडेंट्स के जो कि बिल्कुल ब्लैंक होते हैं, जिनको बिल्कुल कुछ नहीं आता होता। सो उनको मोटिवेट करें कि वो सीखें कि हमारे साथ क्लास लेवल पे आएं, उनको हाईलाइट करें, उनके साथ स्टूडेंट्स को बाइंड करें कि आप इसके साथ आप इसके साथ अटैच हो जाएं एंड ही और शी विल हेल्प यू। नंबर 2, यानी कि पहली बात तो होगी कंटेंट के ऊपर कि आप सोचें एक दफा और उसको आके नोट डाउन करें, कुछ ऐसा बनाएं मैकेनिज्म के आपके जहन में हो कि अब नेक्स्ट टाइम मैंने इसको इस तरह से इंप्रूव करना। दूसरी बात तरबियत वाली, इस चीज को सोचें कि अगर आज मैंने किसी स्टूडेंट को डांटा है तो क्या वो मैंने ठीक किया, या वो मैं जरा किसी डिफरेंट तरीके से कर सकता था, या अगर मैं किसी चीज में जरा ज्यादा सख्त हो गया हूँ, ज्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट हो गया हूँ, तो अगर मैं जरा थोड़ा सा फ्लेक्सिबल हो जाता तो जरा उसका बेहतर इमेज डेवलप होता पूरी क्लास पे। ये चीजें बड़ी मैटर करती हैं। मैंने अभी इसको रिसेंटली एक्सपीरियंस किया कि मेरी क्लास थी जब हम हाइब्रिड थे यहाँ पे, तो उनको मैंने काफी स्ट्रिक्ट रख के पढ़ाया क्योंकि वो क्लास जरा थोड़ी सी रिएक्टेंट थी हर चीज के मामले में, और उनका जरा इखलाकी तौर पे भी थोड़ा सा तरबियत की जरूरत थी, तो उनको मैंने जरा थोड़ा सा स्ट्रिक्टनेस की उनके ऊपर, और उनकी स्ट्रेंथ थी 55। तो जब मैंने 2 वीक्स तक टीच किया, जैसा कि मैंने पहले कहा कि उनको ग्राउंड से शुरू करें, दे डोंट नो मैथमेटिक्स, उनको यहाँ तक स्टार्ट कर लें। यानी मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल पे आप बिल्कुल एबीसी पे चले जाएं, लेकिन एटलीस्ट 1 और 2 लेक्चर्स जो कि उनको इतना बूस्ट कर दें कि जो नील पे भी खड़ा है, जब आप उनको नंबर सिस्टम दिखाएं, लेट मी शेयर यू जस्ट वन स्क्रीन इफ यू अलाउ मी, तो मतलब उनको आप एक ऐसी चीजें दिखाएं कि जिसको वो देख के कहें हाँ ये मैं कर सकता हूँ। उनको यहाँ से शुरू करके अगर आप थोड़ा सा जरा बूस्ट करेंगे, दे विल स्टार्ट रिस्पॉन्डिंग यू, बट एट द सेम टाइम यू हैव टू बी स्ट्रिक्ट इन सम प्रिंसिपल्स। ये चीज बड़ी जरूरी है, टू कीप द बैलेंस। टीचिंग करते हुए कुछ चीजों का बैलेंस रखना बहुत जरूरी है। यू कैन नॉट बी फ्लेक्सिबल, या आप बहुत ज्यादा हेल्पिंग या बहुत ज्यादा लीनियंट नहीं हो सकते, ये चीज बहुत जरूरी है। सो यू हैव टू बी, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मैं उनको ये कहता हूँ कि जिस वक्त मैं आपको कॉन्सेप्ट डिलीवर कर रहा हूँ मैथमेटिक्स का, यू हैव टू पे अटेंशन टू मी। आपको बड़े ध्यान से मेरी तरफ देखना है, बड़े ध्यान से सुनना है, उसके बाद मुझसे क्वेश्चन पूछना है, बिकॉज ऑल मैथमेटिक्स इज बेस्ड ऑन द कॉन्सेप्ट। ये कॉन्सेप्ट आपको समझ आ गया तो ये जो आप क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हैं, दे आर कॉल्ड प्रॉब्लम्स। ये जितनी मर्जी आप कर लें, उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है अगर आपने उसके कॉन्सेप्ट को नहीं सीखा। तो कुछ चीजें हैं जो कि क्लास टू क्लास वेरी करती हैं, सब्जेक्ट टू सब्जेक्ट वेरी करती हैं, उस पर वर्कआउट करना बहुत ही जरूरी है। तरबियत इज अगेन अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। वो भी उनको सिखाएं, रूल सिखाएं। मैंने जैसे अटेंडेंस मार्क किया तो कोई बच्चा आता है तो उसको मैं कहता हूँ कि लेट मी कंप्लीट द अटेंडेंस, उसके बाद मैं नाम बोलूंगा कि जो लेट है वो मुझे अपना नाम बताए या हैंड रेस करे, मैं उसकी अटेंडेंस मार्क करता हूँ। डोंट अलाउ देम टू स्पीक ऑल ऑफ देम एट द सेम टाइम। कुछ चीजें एक तो मैंने ये सीखी विद माय रीसेंट एक्सपीरियंस। तो थोड़ा सा ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, थोड़ा सा उनकी साइड पे जाएं, थोड़ा सा अपनी साइड पे रहें, टू कीप द बैलेंस। तो एक चीज तो यही कि दोनों चीजों पे फोकस, कंटेंट इंप्रूविंग और हम उनकी तरबियत कर रहे हैं, ये हमें करना पड़ेगा भी। हम लोग बहुत बेहतर थे, ये वाले जनरेशन ये हमसे थोड़ा सा इस हवाले से नीचे हैं। सो डू फोकस ऑन द तरबियत। आप ये ना समझें कि आपने जाना है, लेक्चर डिलीवर करना है, वापस आ जाना। नो, यू हैव टू बी वन स्टेप अहेड। और एक सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात, आज की जनरेशन को आज की जनरेशन को समझना, कभी कभार हम ना थोड़ा सा उनको काफी डिस्टेंस पर आके ट्रीट कर रहे होते हैं। उनको थोड़ा सा जरा स्पेस दें, उनके साथ थोड़ा सा जरा फ्रेंडली होने की कोशिश करें। दे विल टेल यू देयर प्रॉब्लम्स, वो आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे, उनकी कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग पे काम करें, उनके एथिक्स पे काम करें, लेकिन उनकी पर्सनल स्पेस में ना एंटर हो। यानी मैं ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि आजकल टीचर को अपनी ग्रूमिंग की बहुत ही ज्यादा जरूरत है, इफ ही और शी वांट्स टू कंट्रीब्यूट। एक्चुअली इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट वन थिंग कि आपने टीच किया और आप वापस आ गए। एक चीज तो ये होगी। दूसरी चीज, अभी आपने नोट किया होगा कि जैसे ही आपने हमें मैनेजमेंट सीट पे बिठाया कि आप एक यूनिवर्सिटी की टॉप मैनेजमेंट पे हैं एंड नाउ यू वांट टू इंप्रूव, तो आप क्या करेंगे? तो आपने नोट नहीं किया कि हमारी तरफ से आपको कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आया, क्योंकि ये हमारा काम नहीं है ना। यानी हमारा काम है कि हम टीचिंग कर रहे हैं, रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, एडवाइजिंग कर रहे हैं, हम इस चीज को इंप्रूव करें, लेकिन हमने कभी इस तरह की मैनेजमेंट नहीं की। अब यहाँ पर वो जो खला जो हमारे है एकेडमिक्स में, वो क्या है, या यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल पे या एचईसी लेवल पे, वो क्या है कि जो डिसीजन कर रहा है उसके डिसीजन में एक फैकल्टी मेंबर का या एक चेयरमैन का हु यूज्ड टू बी अ टीचर, उसका कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं है। अचानक एक चीज आती है और हमें पता चलता है कि अब ये काम ऐसे होगा। अगर उस चीज में, जिस चीज का ताल्लुक हमारी चीज के साथ है कि हम टीचिंग प्लस रिसर्च करेंगे, तो हम ये, जैसा कि अभी एक टीचर ने कहा कि हम एक रिसेंटली एक हमें ट्रैक दिया गया, क्या अगर उसमें टीचर्स की तरफ से भी, या जो चेयरमैन जो कि ऑलरेडी टीचर रह चुका होता है, मोस्टली ये इसीलिए ही इज बेसिकली रनिंग द डिपार्टमेंट इन अ वेरी ग्रेट वे, ये इसलिए होता है क्योंकि वो खुद टीचर होता है, उनको पता होता है और वो अटैच होते हैं। अब मैनेजमेंट जो कि कभी टीचर नहीं होती, उनको ये प्रॉब्लम्स आ रहे होते हैं। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि 25 to 50% कंट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए फ्रॉम एनी फैकल्टी मेंबर और द चेयरमैन। आप उनको साथ लाजमी तौर पे बिठा के किसी फाइनल डिसीजन तक पहुंचे, क्योंकि मैंने ये देखा कि कोरोना के दौरान टीचिंग मेथोडोलॉजीज और सब कुछ बहुत चेंज हो गया, लेकिन उस चीज को अप्रिशिएट नहीं किया गया। मैं समझता हूँ कि रिसर्च को बहुत अप्रिशिएट किया जाता है, लेकिन टीचिंग को नहीं किया जाता, क्योंकि टीचिंग नजर नहीं आती ना। मतलब अगर कोई मैनेजमेंट में कोई वर्कशॉप कंडक्ट कर रहा है ना, ये फौरन फ्रंट पेज पे आ जाएगी यूएमटी के, ये इस वक्त लाइव भी जा रही है फेसबुक पे। यानी इस चीज को बहुत ज्यादा मतलब लाइमलाइट दी जाती है इन सब चीजों को। लेकिन जो एक टीचर बहुत अच्छा टीच कर रहा है, क्या हम उसको भी कभी कोई अप्रिशिएट करते हैं किसी लेवल पे? मिसाल के तौर पे किसी टीचर ने बड़ा जबरदस्त परफॉर्म किया और स्टूडेंट्स, आपको पता है कि यूएमटी में एक फाइनल फीडबैक देते हैं जिसमें बकायदा वो प्लस माइनस लिखते हैं। इफ यू आर एन एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी टीचर, स्टूडेंट्स लिखते हैं कि इसमें क्या क्या खास बात थी, तो क्या आप उसको थोड़ा सा हाईलाइट कर सकते हैं कि भाई इस कोर्स के अंदर फलां टीचर ने जबरदस्त परफॉर्म किया। यानी उसके लिए ये बड़ी जबरदस्त बात हो जाएगी कि अगर हम उसको थोड़ा सा टीचिंग बेसिस के ऊपर भी अप्रिशिएट करना शुरू कर दें, सिवाय कि हम सिर्फ उसको रिसर्च बेस पे करें। अवार्ड भी मिल रहा है, रिसर्च अवार्ड भी मिल रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है। एक चीज मैंने ये नोट किया, और इसके अलावा मैंने कुछ पॉइंट्स नोट किए थे। हाँ जी, आपने बात की थी मैनेजमेंट साइड पे, बस मैं इतना ही कह सकता हूँ, मैं खुद मैनेजमेंट में नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मैं ये समझता हूँ कि देयर शुड बी अ बैलेंस बिटवीन टीचिंग एंड रिसर्च, जो आपके ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज हैं। हमने एडवाइजरशिप को कभी उसमें लिया ही नहीं है। अगर मैं एमएस को का एडवाइजर हूँ तो ये मेरे वर्कलोड में काउंट होना चाहिए। ये बहुत बड़ी एक्टिविटी है, हम इसको बहुत ही छोटा ले लेते हैं और इसलिए शायद वो हमारी वर्कलोड में काउंट नहीं होता। तो ये इस चीज को बहुत जबरदस्त तरीके से देखना चाहिए, यानी टीचर्स के साथ या चेयरमैन के साथ मिलके कोई ऐसी पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए। जैसा कि मैंने पहले कहा कि वो सारा का सारा वो ट्रैक तो आ गया, लेकिन उसमें चूंकि वो टीचर्स की तरफ से या चेयरमैन की तरफ से कोई इनपुट नहीं थी, तो उसमें कुछ ऐसी चीजें इंक्लूड नहीं हो पाई जो कि ग्राउंड लेवल पे एग्जिस्ट करती हैं। तो पॉलिसी मेकिंग में फैकल्टी या चेयरमैन का रोल होना चाहिए। और डेफिनेटली जो मेरी सारी बात का क्रक्स था वो ये था कि पर्सनल लर्निंग, हम ये नहीं समझ सकते कि हमने सब कुछ अचीव कर लिया है। मैं अभी भी अगर बीएस का कोई मैंने लेक्चर डिलीवर करना होता है तो मैं उसको 5 से 10 मिनट एक दफा देख लेता हूँ कि मैंने आज क्या टीच करना है। उससे ये होता है कि मेरे ज़हन में एक स्केच बन जाता है कि आज मैंने शुरू कहाँ से करना है और मैंने एंड कहाँ पे करना है और मैंने इनको काम आज क्या देना है। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि लेक्चर मैनेजमेंट जो है ना, ये हमेशा ही होनी चाहिए। ये मैंने चीज़ अपने पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी के एक टीचर से सीखी थी। अभी यहाँ पर किसी ने बात की थी कि मुझे हमेशा अच्छे टीचर मिले जिसकी वजह से मैंने ये प्रोफेशन चूज किया। मैं आपसे ये शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि मुझे कभी भी अच्छे टीचर नहीं मिले और मैं बाय डिफॉल्ट बचपन से ही मैथमेटिक्स किया करता था। मेरी वालदा मुझे बताती थी कि आपको मैट्रिक में जब काम मिलता था ना, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, मैथमेटिक्स, बायो, तो आपने सबसे पहले आके बाय डिफॉल्ट मैथमेटिक्स की बुक खोलनी है और आपने क्वेश्चंस करना शुरू कर देने। हालांकि वो मुझे क्वेश्चन नहीं आते, तो शायद मैं नेचुरली इस तरफ चला गया कि मुझे चूंकि मैथमेटिक्स आता है और मैंने अल्टीमेटली ये डिसाइड किया कि मैं अब इस सब्जेक्ट जो कि मुझे किसी ने सिखाया, मैं सबको इस तरीके से सिखाऊंगा कि वो इस चीज को एंजॉय करें। मैंने अलाउ किया था कि अगर मुझे जरा थोड़ा सा स्क्रीन शेयरिंग अलाउ की जाए, जैसा मैं सिर्फ एक दो चीजें शेयर करना चाह रहा था जस्ट टू शो। जी जी
हाँ डॉक्टर साहब, अगर हम थोड़ा सा वो टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द सेशन आ जाएं, क्योंकि
श्योर
टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट है। हाँ, तो टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द सेशन विल कम बैक टू योर पॉइंट, ठीक है? अब वहां पे मतलब स्क्रीन शेयरिंग, आई एम सॉरी, वो वैसे आपको बीच में कट नहीं करना चाहती थी। अच्छा, एक जो
जी जी
so Usman साहब ने जो एक बात की थी, which was I think a very interesting point, and where I would like to have someone else's opinion as well. Content improving. If you think about it, how many of us, well, on what basis do we improve our class content?
I have a question, please. Mr. Rizvi. Question tha, I'm sorry, I joined in late, little bit, 5-10 minutes late. So may I ask you, what is the goal of today's session? Where do we want to be? I mean, what is the objective that you want to achieve, or what are we aiming for? Just I know I joined 10 minutes late, so maybe I skipped just one sentence.
Ali, it's basically on being academic leaders. And if you can just stay with us for next 20-25 minutes, we should be able to come towards towards the final stretch.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you, Lee. अच्छा, हमने improving content की बात की है. So हम मतलब all of us teach, and all of us do try to modify, improve our content, उसके पीछे logic क्या होती है, और our action plan क्या होता है in improving? If anyone would like to contribute, I don't know. आमना, आपका hand raise पहले का हुआ था या अभी हुआ है? I might have missed it. I'm not sure.
Can I add something?
जी जी, आमना कबीर, please बताइए.
I think I would say I wouldn't use the word improve. I would use the word improvise, because at times I come up with a course outline and eventually, when the course is about to end, it is a different course outline, from the one that I decided earlier on. And I improvise my course outline because I see and I throw certain things at my students, and I see that, what is exciting them, what incites them, and, what is the interest area that that I'm catering to. So when I see that, this novel might not be, sits very well with them, and this might, so I change it. So I think I use the word improvise because I do a lot of improvising when it comes to my course outline and content.
I'm going to add to Amna's and use a word, if I may, called robust flexibility. It's just I make it up. It means that you gotta have your bases and your your roots strong, and then you gotta be flexible not to break with the winds as they're moving, because we all know what we want to do in our class. And Amna is right. We gotta know where we are going, but we need to be flexible enough with the students and the environment. Just an added to that. Thank you.
Okay, that's actually interesting. So if you can try to wrap this teaching part, do we have, or does when you think about it, do you have an ideal teacher or ideal version of yourself as a teacher? Is there anything else apart from the things which we have discussed about? We've talked about character building.
अगर आप आखिरी, जैसे सबने कुछ शेयर किया, तो मैं आखिरी एक चीज शेयर करने लगा, उसके बाद it'll be like 120 seconds. मैंने जब स्टार्टिंग की तो किसी ने मुझे कहा कि उस्ताद है जी आप, और आप मेरे वालिद की जगह पे. You know what I mean? Teachers, students say this. आप तो मेरे मतलब वो है. So I thought about it for a little bit, and then I started sharing with the students and also my colleagues कि बाप की जगह पे उस्ताद उस वक्त आता है क्योंकि अगर आप बाप है और he has 2-3 kids, उसकी सबसे बड़ी खासियत क्या होती है? वो जितना मर्जी निकम्मा बच्चा क्यों ना हो, वो छोड़ता नहीं है उसको. कहता है मैं तुम्हें मतलब दुकान डाल दूंगा, तो कुछ कर ले. He never gives up on his child. And I think वो जो उस्ताद होता है ना, वो तभी उस्ताद बनता है हमारे कल्चर, हमारी सोसाइटी से अगर हम उसको चीज को लें, कि when he or she doesn't give up on even one student. And I think that's what makes a difference. कि आपके पास अच्छा स्टूडेंट है, A+ स्टूडेंट है, F वाला है, C+ है, you can't give up on any student. And I know it's a hard thing to do, but I think that's where that leadership comes in, when तब आप अपने आप को खुद को उस्ताद के लेवल पे लेके जाते हैं. That is what I think. Thanks.
Yeah. So thank you. So that's interesting. So that's basically focus on everyone and no one stays behind philosophy jo hai. So anyone else, but when you think of an ideal teacher or ideal version of yourself as a teacher, anything else you would like to add? Any final words?
अब आप कह रहे हैं आइडियल, मैं कहता हूँ ये प्रैक्टिकल टीचर है.
Practical. All right. नहीं चलो, मतलब if you were to say, I wouldn't use the word ideal, a better version of yourself as a teacher. If anyone else would like to have a final word on it. All right. Okay. If not, let's move. So basically, we've covered the teaching part at this stage, and let's move to the research part, and then we can come back to the research ki baat ki thi. So all of us are mandated by the universities now to do research. But apart from the mandated research, what else can be classified, or what else should we do, or why should we do research? That would be my first question, my first query. If anyone would like to add to that.
I think research is needed to keep ourselves up to date, number one. we need to be up to date as to what's happening. I mean, when we do research, we learn, we explore, so we come to know what is happening in the world, what is happening, what new trends are there, what new, different type of other findings have already been done based on the environment and how the world is changing, and उसमें psychology भी आ जाती है, sociology भी आ जाती है. तो I think business के concepts के ऊपर भी लोग बात करते हैं. Even आपके जो natural sciences है उनमें बहुत चीजें change हो रही हैं. So again, I think it keeps you up to date, and you can be a better conduit for the knowledge that you're going to be dispersing to the students at that particular subject that you're teaching. So one thing is that, and second is, of course, it is needed for you, and you have to publish, and you have to be doing that. So एक वो भी है. So I think academic leadership point of view से जो आपने बात की है, I think it keeps you on your toes and keeps you abreast of things as to what is happening.
Okay, that's interesting. So basically staying up to date, staying current with the knowledge evolution, so that you can pass on that knowledge to your students and to your peers. Publish की बात की थी अली साहब आपने. So and I would like to hear from someone else as well on this topic. उस जो अभी हमारा करंट रिसर्च मॉडल है, पब्लिशिंग मॉडल है हमारी यूनिवर्सिटीज का, do you think that's fine, or are there any flaws in it? Are there any improvements required in it, Usman साहब?
जी बिल्कुल, मैं आपकी पहले वाली बात में थोड़ा सा ऐड करना चाह रहा था. जैसे कि पहली बात अभी अली साहब ने की कि अपडेट रहना. अब जिस फील्ड में रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, आपको ये पता होना चाहिए कि उस फील्ड के जो फाउंडर्स हैं या उस फील्ड के एक्सपर्ट इस वक्त दुनिया में कौन कौन से हैं, एंड यू फॉलो देयर रिसर्च ऑन डिफरेंट प्लेटफॉर्म्स. तो एक चीज़ तो ये डेफिनेटली बहुत ज़रूरी है. दूसरी जो चीज़ मैंने सीखी है विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम, के अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर आएं. जब हम एक स्पेसिफिक फील्ड में रिसर्च करना शुरू कर देते हैं, यानी जैसे हम पीएचडी करते हैं, तो हमारी कोशिश ये होती है कि हम उससे कभी भी बाहर ना आए, और हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स को भी उससे बाहर नहीं आने देते. तुमने यही करना है और तुमने इधर उधर नहीं देखना. अब आप तो उसको बेसिकली रिसर्च के आदाब से बाहर निकाल दें, उसको खेलने तो दें थोड़ा सा उस फील्ड में, उसको एक्सप्लोर तो करने दें. आप खुद भी करें और उसको भी करने दें. अल्टीमेटली फिर आप एक फाइनल चीज के ऊपर एग्री करें. तो थोड़ा सा जरा लिबरेट करना चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स को. मैंने देखा है कि आमतौर पर जो प्रोफेसर होते हैं उनका अच्छा खासा एक ना खौफ सा होता है, या उन्होंने बड़ा रिस्ट्रिक्ट किया होता है स्टूडेंट्स को. ये मैंने पर्सनली भी फील किया, ये मैंने एनवायरनमेंट में भी फील किया कि दे आर लाइक इन द केज, फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग. दूसरी बात, हमारे पास यहाँ पर कोलैबोरेशंस नहीं है. कोलैबोरेट करें. कोलैबोरेशंस आर टोटली मिसिंग. मैं पीकिंग यूनिवर्सिटी में रहा, मैंने वहाँ पर ये कल्चर देखा कि पीकिंग की जो केमिस्ट्री लैब है, इट्स वन ऑफ द टॉप लैब्स इन द वर्ल्ड, 5th नंबर पे वो आती है. मैंने वहाँ नोट किया कि क्या चक्कर क्या वहाँ पे. मैंने उनके पेपर्स देखे, वो काम कर रहे हैं उस पे मटेरियल साइंसेस पे. सारी रिसर्च ही आजकल बैटरीज पे हो रही है कि किस तरीके से हम कोई ब्रेक थ्रू लेके आए बैटरीज में. तो मैंने देखा कि उनके जो ऑथर्स हैं वो 15 to 20 ऑथर्स हैं नॉर्मली. अब जैसा कि मिसाल के तौर पर मैं रिसर्च करता हूँ मल्टी क्राइटेरिया डिसीजन मेकिंग पे, मुझे पता है कि मुझे किसी कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट की जरूरत है, मुझे किसी सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर की जरूरत है. जब मैं अल्टीमेटली एक डिसीजन मेकिंग का मॉडल प्रेजेंट कर देता हूँ, तो उस चीज को फिर प्रैक्टिकल तो होना चाहिए ना. पब्लिश करना एक चीज होगी, लेकिन वो सोसाइटी में कितना कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है, हमें इसके ऊपर भी सोचना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो सोसाइटी में कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता है अगर हम उसको एक स्टेप आगे ले जाएं. कोलैबोरेशन से भी वो चीजें आगे जा सकती हैं. क्वालिटी ऑफ रिसर्च विल इंप्रूव, और अगर हम उसको किसी तरीके से किसी प्रोडक्ट में कन्वर्ट कर सकें, तो वो भी चीजें बेहतरी की तरफ जा सकती हैं टुवर्ड्स द सोसाइटी इम्पैक्ट. That's what I wanted to add in the first point about the research.
Okay. ठीक है, that's interesting. Thank you, Usman साहब. उस्मान साहब ने बात की सोसाइटल इम्पैक्ट की. हम सारे लोग as academics we are mandated to research. It can be applied research, it can be in forms of basic discovery research. हमें से कितने लोगों की research is actually making a societal impact? Have you thought about it? कि हम जो research कर रहे हैं, is it actually changing or impacting the society? If you don't mind, UMT में research criteria क्या है? To be considered a star in research or be considered get an award under the research format. Okay, let's leave UMT. Generally, किसी भी university में क्या है?
आप रिसर्च अवार्ड की बात कर रहे हैं, यानी किस बेस पे वो आपको? जी बिल्कुल. वो ऑन सब वो डिपेंड करता है एचईसी की कैटेगरी पे. ये जो रिसेंटली HEC ने कैटेगराइज किया है जर्नल्स को इन द W कैटेगरी, एंड उसमें फर्दर आपको पता है प्लैटिनम, गोल्ड और वो सारे हैं, ब्रॉन्ज, फिर X कैटेगरी और Y, तो उस बेसिस पे हमें अवार्ड किया जाता है। जैसे कि जो टॉप कैटेगरी है उसमें हमें 2 लाख उसका अवार्ड है, एंड देन वी कम डाउन टू 50,000, आई थिंक 20,000। तो इस तरह से एक तो ये है कि जो HEC कैटेगराइज कर दिया उस बेसिस पे इसका अवार्ड दिया जाता है।
ठीक है, alright, so I think this is exactly the same system जो हमारे रीजन में हर यूनिवर्सिटी में एप्लीकेबल है। हम पाकिस्तान में HEC की लिस्ट फॉलो कर रहे हैं, इंडिया में अक्रॉस द बॉर्डर दे फॉलो द वेब ऑफ साइंसेस के स्कोपस के क्वार्टाइल्स, चाइना में दे फॉलो वेब ऑफ साइंसेस के, मलेशिया में दे फॉलो द स्कोपस, मलेशिया इंडोनेशिया में दे फॉलो द स्कोपस क्वार्टाइल्स. So essentially the model is everywhere similar, which is looks at the number of papers published in which category. Now, when we say that we are, or we would like to be a research leader, or we would like to be known as an authority in our specific area of research, do you think हमारा जो existing model है that is supportive or not? Anyone? We have all of us choose one song.
जी ऑन साहब बिल्कुल नहीं है, क्योंकि वो तो आपको पता है जो HEC की जो कैटेगरीज की हुई हैं वो भी क्वेश्चनेबल है कि वो क्या वो वाकई जो, क्योंकि आप बात करें रिसर्च लीडर होने की, तो यहाँ पर तो नंबर ऑफ पब्लिकेशंस काउंट करती हैं। मेरे लिए इतना चैलेंजिंग हो गया था आफ्टर माय PhD कि आई डिड माय PhD इन सॉलिटॉन फील्ड, सॉलिटॉन, नेमेटिकॉन्स, ये ट्रैवलिंग वेव्स को कहते हैं। आप यकीन करें मैं वापस आया तो मैंने वहां से जो सीखा मशीन लर्निंग, AI, बहुत ट्रेंड था वहां पे। जब मैं वापस आया तो मैंने सोचा कि क्या मुझे ये कंटिन्यू करना चाहिए, तो फर्स्ट आई आस्क माय सेल्फ अ क्वेश्चन कि मैं क्या इसमें रिसर्च मुझे करवानी चाहिए, इसका क्या इंपैक्ट होगा, इसका क्या फायदा होगा, क्या ये चीज इंप्रूव भी करेगी नहीं करेगी। मतलब हम अपने वही छोटे से जो गोल्स हैं छोटे छोटे के बस नंबर ऑफ पब्लिकेशन इंक्रीज करें। आप यकीन करें आई टुक अ गैप ऑफ 1 ईयर, मैंने अपनी सारी रिसर्च को शिफ्ट किया ऑप्टिमाइजेशन पे, एंड आई स्पेसिफिकली डूइंग रिसर्च इन द डिसीजन मेकिंग जो कि बेस करती है मैथमेटिकल मॉडल्स पे। अब राइट नाउ जो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो कोशिश ये होती है कि मैं एक नया मैथमेटिकल स्ट्रक्चर बनाऊं अकॉर्डिंग टू द सिचुएशन। तो ये बहुत मुश्किल काम है, इसके लिए वेट करना पड़ता है। मैं लम्स में मैंने 2 साल डॉक्टर सुल्तान सियाल साहब के साथ काम किया, एंड ही यूज्ड टू से कि एक अच्छा पेपर तो 1 साल बाद आता है। अब आप मुझे बताएं कि जब एक अच्छा पेपर 1 साल बाद आएगा तो हम प्रैक्टिकली स्पीकिंग हमारे साथ कुछ फाइनेंशियल नीड्स भी अटैच्ड हैं, तो हम तो उस तरह वाली चीज पे नहीं जाने की सोचते ना। हम तो ये सोचते हैं कि वो रिसर्च कीजिए जो कि 2 महीने में खत्म हो जाए, जो महीने में खत्म हो जाए, जो पेपर 6 माह में 2-3 आ जाए। तो इसलिए मेरा नहीं ख्याल कि करंट मॉडल इस चीज को बहुत ज्यादा सपोर्ट करता है। That's what I wanted to say.
एक जो रिसर्च में बहुत मेजर चैलेंज across the region and not in Pakistan, in most of the developing countries, it's numeric based, which basically means it doesn't give benefit, or it doesn't reward quality, but it rather rewards numerics. I think we have I think Zanab or Sadia can confirm, we have some of the people in this meeting who are non-core business school, right? So they're from social sciences and humanities.
We have like people from all over the universities. So they are from humanities, sciences, business, so everyone.
Okay, perfect. So first, like I can in humanities or in social sciences, if they follow the numeric argument, or they go for the numeric numbers for numeric paper number of papers, it's very difficult because one, the research is much more different than a lot of applied or empirical research that happens in areas like finance and economics. I can give I can tell about finance. It's empirical work mainly that is being done, applied empirical work, which can probably be done in like 6 months tops. But in some areas, like in humanities and social sciences, it will take years to just complete one monograph which is worthwhile. So the challenge in research is that our incentive structures are designed on numbers, while basically not focusing on the quality. And we had started off, the first thing Ali had said was staying up to date in the way and how the knowledge is evolving all over the world in your area. If you want to stay up to date and you want to contribute to that up to date, then numbers probably shouldn't be the focus. But again, that's how the structure is right now. If you think about the people, and when we talk about research leaders, if you think about people who are considered research leaders globally, and we look at their number of papers, we have do we have someone from finance stream here? If they would like to speak up, all right. I think probably not. Anyways, so like in finance, there are a few people who are considered who are considered the authority in their area. Taylor is one of them, who's basically defined the behavioral finance stream, who's developed it. If you look at his number of papers, they're less than 30 in like for last 50 years of his career. And we see in Pakistan, in finance, I can be very specific because I've looked at it. In finance, I see people in Pakistan who are finance faculty members and who have published in marketing journals, who've published in tourism, social, social economics. That's not fine. But then the idea is when you ask them, those are just for the numbers, just to get their numbers, without ever owning an area and then staying in or going in depth into that area. But there are different opinions about the research part. All right. So research leader, how a research leader is identified. If you want to stay up to date, there is a different ball game. If you want to meet the HEC requirements, there's a different strategy that we need to operate on. And that's a dilemma that all of the universities are facing and all of the academics are facing. So I would just like all of you to think for, I mean, like not now, later, whenever you have time, go through your own research and look at it and see that if our starting point for today's discussion was that as academia, as a member of the academic community, we are contributing towards the next 50 years of this country and society. We are training and grooming that. How is our research contributing towards making lives better for people in Pakistan or globally? So just try to think about more impact focus of your research. I mean, I'll be very candid with you. In my research, there's probably hardly one or two things which can be implemented. And the rest of them, they don't change anything, or they don't improve anything in this for the country, for the society, or for the world at large. Now, we're almost out of time. Quickly, initially, बहुत सारा focus was on the management side. Policy making की बात हुई, उनकी lack of understanding की बात हुई. What do you think needs to be done? Anyone? Action plan on how it needs to change. All right. Anyone? उस्मान साहब?
जी ऑन सब किस लेवल पे आप बात, यानी यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल पे या जैसे एचईसी रेगुलेट करती है यूनिवर्सिटीज को?
यूनिवर्सिटी. लेट्स स्टार्ट ऑफ विद द यूनिवर्सिटीज. एचईसी का तो अभी हमें नहीं पता कि एचईसी का आगे क्या होगा with all the recent fiascos and issues.
बिल्कुल.
So let's stick with our university level.
बिल्कुल. First of all, again जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि to keep the balance between the teaching and research, teaching जो achievements हैं उनको highlight करें, और जैसा कि हम पेंडेमिक से गुजर रहे हैं, it's very hard to teach a class of 70-80 students, क्योंकि उनकी आपने 8 assignments रिसीव करनी है ऑनलाइन, आपने उनका क्विज कंडक्ट करना है, मिड टर्म, फाइनल जिसके 3 क्वेश्चंस हैं, प्रोजेक्ट. इट्स अ वेरी हेक्टिक एंड लेंथी एक्टिविटी. अगर आप उसको
जी ये तो स्पेसिफिक आजकल के ना, जनरली जो हमने प्रॉब्लम्स आइडेंटिफाई किए थे अभी स्टार्ट में मैनेजमेंट रिलेटेड,
जी
if you were given responsibility कि जी उस्मान साहब 10 साल का प्लान है, 10 साल में आपने इस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम को चेंज करना है, ये इन सारे प्रॉब्लम्स को एड्रेस करना है, क्या कुछ करना पड़ेगा?
मुझे देखें, वही बात कि मैं तो एक स्पेसिफिक फील्ड से हूँ, मेरे जहन में ये होगा कि जो भी मैनेजमेंट में हो, जो भी डिसीजन मेकिंग करे, वो जिसके मुतालिक भी डिसीजन मेकिंग करे उसमें रेलिवेंट लोग शामिल हों, either professors or the chairman of the department, वो लोग शामिल हों and they take part in the decision, final decision making. That's what I want to say.
ठीक है, relevant. अभी I have a question for everyone else. अभी relevant faculty क्यों नहीं involved?
नहीं, अभी है relevant faculty involved, but usually what happens is, देखें, आप जब भी कहते हैं ना हमने 10 साल का देखना है, one thing you have to be, make sure that in which environment, in which culture you are operating. कल्चर के ऊपर हम तो अगला दिन नहीं कहते जी, अल्लाह को पता है, ये नहीं मैं माज़अल्लाह कि मैं ऐसी कोई बात कर रहा हूँ. So all I'm saying is कि you are talking about people and countries and leaders, organizations, और ऊपर से हमारा प्रॉफिट, वो क्या कहते हैं, प्रॉफिट ग्रोथ वाला हमारा वो कल्चर है. हम सब ने इंस्टीट्यूशंस को देखे ना, इंस्टीट्यूशन को तो नहीं हम चला रहे, हम तो चला रहे हैं एक एंटरप्राइज को. There's a major difference between running an enterprise and an institution. Institutions work towards reform, they work towards development, they work towards paving the way for the next generation. When we are running enterprises, the only thing is equal to profit. तो प्रॉफिट ग्रोथ जो है हमारी वो बहुत ज्यादा होती है. तो इसलिए जब आप कहते हैं 10 साल की पॉलिसी मेकिंग करनी है, तो लुक, अगर हम अपनी बेसिक्स पे आ जाएं, जिसे कहते हैं कि आप यू स्टार्ट फोकसिंग ऑन योर customer, key customer, which is a student, that the student profile, a graduate of UMT is going to look like this. He or she is going to be this, these उसके KPIs होंगे. या अगर आप इतना ही वो प्रैक्टिकल होना चाह रहे हैं जो आप लगे हुए हैं, हम सारे कई 1.5 घंटे से कि जी उसको प्रैक्टिकल क्या होगा, चले हम KPIs बना लेते हैं. स्टूडेंट जो है ना उसके अंदर ये 4 चीजें होनी चाहिए. मैंने हमेशा बात की है, मैं उसे 3 C's, 4 C's, 5 C's पे भी ले जाता हूँ. Character, courage, confidence, credibility. You know, these are the things, that communication उसमें add करते हैं. So I have taught people from almost all schools because I taught some classes where it was necessary for them to take. तो अगर आप किसी भी ये आप इन चीजों के ऊपर लेके आए ना, तो that's why you will find out कि हाँ भाई स्टूडेंट लम्स का क्या है, हार्वर्ड का क्या है, you start going big schools, तो उनका क्या है, उनका यही है ना कि जी उधर से पढ़ा हुआ बंदा जो वो ऐसा होता है, तो यूएमटी से पढ़ा हुआ बंदा कैसा होगा, ये डिफाइन करें, चाहे वो जिस मर्जी स्कूल से निकल रहा हो. एंड दैट इज, उससे भी वापस आए. तो मैं क्लास में एक्टिविटी कराता होता हूँ कि यू हैव टू गो टू दैट कॉर्नर, बड़ी क्लास में, नाउ फाइंड अ वे. वो क्लास में कोई सीधा जाता है, कोई इधर से जाता है, यू गॉट टू फाइंड दैट कि हमें करना क्या. ठीक है जी. तो वो आई थिंक we need to figure out कि वो आपने पॉलिसी कह रहे हैं, तो पॉलिसी किस चीज के लिए बनानी है? To be the number 1 school in the world, you are number 1 school in Lahore University, what are you making the policy for? Yeah, to have the best, the most employable students. Maybe that is something that UMT can really work on because of its diversity and because of its breadth of diversity and because it touches almost all the 4 provinces. So हम बजाय इसके कि हम लम्स को फॉलो करें, लेट लम्स फिगर आउट कि भाई हमने यूएमटी को कैसे फॉलो करना है. इनके तो बच्चे बड़े जबरदस्त निकल रहे हैं, इनके तो स्टूडेंट्स बड़े जबरदस्त हैं. 50% पे बच्चा लेके अगर आप उसे 70% पे ले जाते हैं तो दैट्स अ मेजर अचीवमेंट, बजाय इसके कि 80% पे लेके उसको आप 85 पे ले जाए. तो आई मीन दिस इज माय थॉट. एंड मैनेजमेंट किस तरीके से सोचती है, अगर वो ये सोचेगी कि जी मैंने अगले पे 20,000 है तो मैंने 25,000 कैसे करना है, hey, that makes sense, sure, ठीक है. But then these debates and everything else is, yeah, it's good whitewash, but there's not going to be solutions. Thanks.
ठीक है, thank you Ali, and thank you very much for that point. So essentially, जब हम the leadership की जो बात हम लोग कर रहे थे, and Ali, thank you very much for that comment. The first thing, or an academic, there are different opinions on how you would define an academic leader. Everyone would naturally have a different understanding, different opinion, but the whole academic system operates or the whole academic community exists because of the students. So जो अली ने बात की ना कि आपको स्टूडेंट के साथ करना क्या है, आपको 4 साल बाद, 2 साल बाद, 5 साल बाद जो भी उसका टाइम एट यूनिवर्सिटी स्पेंड है, उसके बाद से आपकी आउटपुट क्या है. And leadership is that all of your three aspects of academia, which is your teaching, which is research, and the service to the school or the community, which is आपके administrative roles आ जाते हैं, आपकी advisory roles आ जाते हैं, all of that till the time they are contributing towards the output that is defined, or the output that is desired, a desired output. Now that's being leaders in your area. You don't have to be किसी और आई थिंक एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज हम लोगों को जनरली हमारी सोसाइटी में है, और जो मतलब आई थिंक हर यूनिवर्सिटी में है, इंक्लूडिंग some of well, quite a lot of my friends at my current workplace, कि जी मतलब हमने अगर रिसर्च करनी है तो we want to compete with places like Stanford, Harvard or Yale, Oxford, Cambridge. Yes, that's good, but then how does it contribute towards the desired output that we want at our university? Is it contributing to that? If it's not, then you may be considered a research leader for a country X environment or for a university Y environment, but not at the place you're working in. So the starting point, or what I would suggest, or the way I look at it, is we need to be very clear on the fact that what's our end game. And when there is an end game we have an end game in mind, that is what defines the three specific parameters of teaching, research, and service leadership. Not all of us can do everything. Some of us are naturally gifted in terms of teaching. Some of us are naturally gifted in research. Some of us might be naturally gifted in service and in administrative parts. The question is, जो एक बात स्टार्ट में की थी एक आप लोगों के कोलीग ने, कि नई पॉलिसीज आ रही हैं जो कंपार्टमेंटलाइज कर रही हैं. अब the question is whether those compartmentalizations are good or bad. The jury will be out on it in like 10 years time. We'll only know after some time the policy is implemented that whether it worked or not, or it had any flaws, it backfired. Right now, everything we say about any policy is conjecture, all right, or it's mainly just saying, okay, yeah, this might happen, assumptions. Sorry. So the theme, or the reason we wanted to have this discussion today, was basically, it was trying to, if you want to be getting ready to be an academic leader, right? The starting point for that is first understanding who we are, what are the challenges that we have, and where do we want to be. And for each and every one of us, that will be unique. Yes, there will be an institutional direction, but for each and every one of us, where we can excel, how we can excel in it, and which part do we want to excel in it, that will be unique, and that will be dependent on our own personal value system. So the getting ready part is very simple, is knowing your own self and knowing what's the end game. What do you want your students, and where do you want your students to be, or how would you like to contribute to their lives, to this country, to the society's future, to the business's future. And if you're actually contributing to the utmost or to the best potential you have, that's to a great extent leadership, or being a leader in academia. And it can be under any of the three domains: teaching, research, service, or a combination of any two of them or three of them, whichever way you have a personal inclination of. All right, I'll stop here. So if there are any questions, comments, feedback, I'm here. I'm open to any. I think it seems like सब लोगों की बात हो चुकी है.
So, any question?
Over to you, Sadi.
Yeah, I'm also asking for the last time that if there is any question, or maybe people are really fasting and they're really hungry and thirsty today. It's a hot day.
And I mean, yeah, that's natural. I mean, even when we were students and जब कोई सवाल आखिर में सवाल पूछा था, तो everyone in the class would hate that person कि बिलावल जब खत्म हो रही थी class and you're extending it. I think that's the feeling. Yeah.
So sometimes we also behave like students, no matter what we are, how we are working in what capacity, but we never fail to behave like students.
Oh, yes.
And again, thank you so much, Syed, on Rizvi. And it was really a very fruitful experience with you. And thank you for being with us. And thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. And thank you for being here during Ramadan. So that's very, yeah. And you have really led a very fruitful intellectual discussion. Together, we highlighted some of the challenges that our faculty is facing these days. Maybe it is because of the online situation, maybe some of the works that we are being done, and probably we are overwhelmed by the amount of work that is being done. But thank you for giving us that action plan, where we can actually devise some of the solutions for our teaching and research. And finally, like as you told us, that knowing yourself is actually very important, and knowing your preference can actually make you a better teacher and a better administrator. I would also like to thank all the participants who have actually taken out time for this workshop, and thank you for contributing to this discussion. Together, we have come up with a lot of, I would say, probably the ways we can actually handle and tackle some of the issues and concerns that faculties is facing these days. And at least we have tried to let each other know that we are not alone in this situation, and all of us are facing somehow or the other some situations. So we are together, and we are with one another, so we can collaborate. So thank you for being here. And that's all from our side. We will be having more workshops of these kinds, and on some we will be inviting you every now and then. I hope you will say yes to us.
Yes, I mean, whatever I can. I mean, my role is only to facilitate or help discussion get going. And it was a pleasure. Thank you very much. I hope all of us would have preferred it in a face-to-face setting, but the current reality is an online. So it was a pleasure, and thank you very much for your time. And thank you very much, Sadia and Zarna, for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you, Ji. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day ahead. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
I think